you're going to prison for so long, you're gonna have to be in a gang. What gang you gonna be in? And I'm like, no gangs. Hello, welcome to another video. Like and subscribe right now. Yes, please. Thank you. We're going to be telling a little story about one of my efforts to try to get out of jail legitimately, be let out of jail, by claiming that I was such a hardcore drug addict that I needed professional drug treatment before I go to prison, which, believe it or not, was a thing. I mean, I was doing and trying everything out there. Like, I got my GED in jail, and I scored so fucking high on my GED, and I literally hadn't been in a classroom for 10 years. So I was 27, I hadn't been in a classroom since I was 17. I took my GED at 27 and fucking scored like so high. I blew myself away. I could not fucking believe it. I mean, I'm like, God, why did I fucking wait? I didn't realize I knew all this shit. Probably learned it in grade school, really. I mean, they really waste people's time with the fucking what they actually teach you for the actual time they teach you. Anyway, sidetracked on how bad the school system is. So I got into this fucking drug treatment class in jail. And this place was a trip, right? I mean, mainly it was a bunch of guys from county jail that were waiting to get to a drug treatment facility instead of going to like jail or prison or whatever, right? But in rare occasions, they would literally send federal freaking pretrial jail people to go to freaking outpatient, like house arrest or whatever. So I would have been gone in 5 seconds. I mean, I was living in Canada pretty much. I should have never come back. But anyway, I'm in this class, and there's like, I mean, basically I ended up hanging out with the most interesting people that I found in that class. And, you know, and hanging out means you just be walking around the place, just doing laps around the freaking little, whatever the place, dorm is called or whatever, and just talking with people, telling stories, listening to stories, right? So there was this gypsy joker biker in there, and this dude was like a notorious freaking biker dude. I don't think we had like crazy freaking, maybe bikers would kill somebody every once in a while in Oregon, but it wasn't like it was up in California, down in California, or up in Canada or anything like that. Like, not just like wars and shit. But anyway, so this guy, I ended up talking to him a bunch. A lot, getting insight. Like, I'm going to prison for a long time. What should I do? You know, I'm trying to get information, and, you know, you just couldn't look it up in jail. So, I'm talking to this guy. Well, the fucking gang task force for the jail saw me talking to this dude, and fucking this dude, this anti-gang asshole cop in the fucking jail system, biggest douchebag fucking person ever. Like, I'm like, this guy's a fucking walk the line. Which gang you're gonna be in a gang. You're going to prison for so long, you're gonna have to be in a gang. What gang you gonna be in? And I'm like, no gangs. Oh yeah, you're gonna be in a biker gang. No, I'm not. Yeah, you're gonna be like a what? No, I'm not. Oh yeah, how are you gonna survive? hang out with the smart people. Fucking, I mean, this dude was the biggest fucking asshole douchebag you know, and it's hard. I mean, there's a level that it's just like, and I've met cops that are that level. I've met fucking correction officers that are that level. But really, that level of douchebag, I don't know if I've ever met that in a normal person before, right? So when you get to that level of douchebaggery, you know where you work. This guy's like just, you know, basically telling me I have to be a gang member. And just think about that for a second. If I was some little weak-minded fucking kid or just a normal kid or whatever, I was 27 at the time, maybe 28. At this point, yeah, I think I was 28. So you imagine like this stupid motherfucker saying this shit, terrifying some fucking little kid, and then that little kid goes and actually joins a fucking gang in prison. Instead of rejecting that shit, he gets it in his mind from the cops that you gotta do that shit. Yeah. I'm in this drug treatment class. I mean, and it's like intensive. I mean, it's like all day, every day, drug classes, propaganda, fucking drug propaganda, meetings, AA meetings, NA meetings. I mean, and basically the only thing I learned in there, other than just how all that bullshit works, is the fact that I'm not a fucking drug addict. Never been a drug addict. Never had a fucking problem. Probably have a little speck of alcoholism, but I could care less. I like my cider. I used to like my beer. So anyway, and I mean, it's just all kinds of stuff going on, right? So they go, okay, we want you guys to break into groups and take a nursery rhyme or a poem or an old story of maybe his poems or stories about nursery rhyme shit. We want you to act that out. So I was with my gypsy joker biker buddy. Dude had like broken teeth going on, this other guy. And then this other guy that had already been to federal prison. And then none of them were very bright dudes, but they were all like knowledgeable prison type people, right? So I got this fucking Rapunzel story or whatever, rhyme, nursery rhyme, whatever it was. Well, I actually went back through and wrote out dialogue for the whole thing, right? And I gave all these guys fucking lines. And we wrapped up like the exercise thing in the middle of the room with sheets and made it look like a castle, and we made props like ringlets of paper together to make the long hair. Really went all out, right? So there's a kiss in there. Imagine like the hardest motherfuckers, biker, like I said, like this one dude's a gypsy joker, long hair biker motherfucker. Been to fucking hardcore state prison several times for stuff. This other guy, just one of those fucking tweaker dudes, fucking like a wannabe biker style dude. And then another dude that had been to federal prison that was just like, just that fucking trim cut and very, Anyway, so you just imagine these guys, right? All in there. Well, the one toothless dude, fang-toothed dude, that dude was probably mid-30s. I was about 28. And then old biker dude was probably late 40s, early 50s, and the other dude was probably like early 40s. And old biker dude would clown the straight dude about how, yeah, you did Fed time back in the day, but you ain't never fucked around and done another Fed crime again. So he in and out of jail type of dude. Long time. You know, I'm in and out of jail, but just like fucking little tiny, not any substantial fucking sentences. Always like time served for like a night in jail type of shit, right? It wasn't until all this shit happened when I was like actually in jail for a while. But all these people, like, they've just been doing that shit constantly, getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out. And it's like, now, one of these guys is playing Rapunzel, one is playing like the guy, and then we got another character, and I think I'm like reading the stuff, right? And we're checking, and the whole entire staff, the cops, and there was a lot of extra staff. You know, I had all these drug treatment counselors, basically women, pretty much. And they were just, and every other dude in there locked up. They were just rolling. They were fucking on their fucking asses when the fucking big biker dude, well, actually through the whole thing, but the culmination, I mean, everybody was just like, the whole time, it was just fucking hilarious, right? And then there's the kiss. And the fucking snaggletooth dude, and I don't remember what I told him to do, but so you got this old bike, and they fucking kiss. They just lip lock. Ah, it's seared in my head. Like, you don't forget things like that. And literally, like people were falling down. I mean, these are like the hardest dudes. These are like dudes that are walking around, which later on, this is a whole nother story. I gotta tell this whole other story. But later on, this dude, like, they got fucking pissed at me because I talked to his lawyer, and his lawyer totally fucking twisted what I said to him because he was a state lawyer and I was in the feds and he couldn't do shit. So instead of just admitting he couldn't do shit, he put a fucking, what's called a rat jacket on me, which I have my paperwork in my bank fraud case. Everybody was ratting me out. I mean, all of Gabe's friends, every single one of these guys, right? Well, I was still friends with Ed, and Ed is the one they want. So I gave Ed, I was like, Ed, if I rat you out, is that okay? If we give you a job up here in Canada, I mean, it's up to you, dude. And he's like, yeah, give me a job. And the motherfucker stole the money. So he decided he wanted to go that way. Because basically, the option was like, I'm either just going to play along with them, or I'm just going to fuck them off. And it's up to you. And I gave him this option, and he was already getting told on by all these other people. So, but none of them actually dealt with him. But unfortunately, a few people knew who he was because he would buy weed from me. They would buy, you know, it was just like a bunch of people that knew everything. So I fucking told their lawyer this shit. But I said, I'm not cooperating in this drug case at fucking all. No way. Not even crossing my mind. And the only reason I did it in the other case was because the one person that I was cooperating against told me, go for it, and took the job that I offered him in Canada. Now he went and fucking immediately stole the fucking money. The first time he got handed any money, he just took off. His story is that he got threatened and he got scared because the people that handed him the money were the people that ended up working with Cedar behind my back. So then I sent Ed up there to fucking to put a check to that shit. And so, but then he split. Well, I ran into Ed years fucking late. I literally walked out of my apartment fucking door after prison, and there's fucking Ed. You know, so many people just appeared around my apartment that were in the fringes of my case, right? Like this dude Nick, and Ed. And I always got the feeling that the fucking feds were just dangling these people that I owed me money and all this shit to see what I would do, to see if I was trying to write. So anyway, I ended up fucking talking to Ed years later, and this motherfucker says that the Huey and Donovan that dropped the money gave him the money and said, here, this is your money, get the fuck out of our city, or something to this effect, right? And that instead of fucking calling me and fucking, dealing with it, he was just like, fuck it. I'm going to fucking take this money and go. And he was an epic alcoholic. He ended up getting like 3 Deweys and being barred from bars and cars forever. So that whole story. So anyway, I was trying to get a high-powered lawyer, and this high-powered lawyer was a high-powered city lawyer, Portland City. He was friends with, and this is how, him and the lead DA that had been the DA of Portland forever, the guy that was 2 houses away from my grandparents when I was growing up. So I grew up right next to the DA. I used to play with the DA's kids, Michael Shrunk, when I was a little kid. Turns out his old partner before he was a DA turned into the hugest criminal guy. So you had the DA and the hugest criminal guy that were linked in the past, and people would use this guy and just get off. And but that was all on a state shit, right? Or city or whatever. But I was like, oh man, I want this guy to get me off. But he fucking knew better. But I told him this whole story, and this motherfucker told the fucking biker dude. So after us being great and them kissing and this whole fucking thing, now this guy thinks I'm a snitch. He doesn't just come out and say, he's just like, oh, wow. And it takes me a while to figure out what's going on. And I'm like, whatever. So nobody has the opportunity to say, hey dude, the feds want me to fucking tell on you. I'm rich doing all this shit. This'll get me get my sentence way down. You're not doing shit. You lost your job fucking a long ass time ago. You want this killer ass job up in Canada and doing this shit? And I'll fucking just tell on you, and then they can't get their hands on you? And he's like, yeah. And if he would have been like, no dude, fuck that, I would have been like, right on. I'll just fucking bail on this bullshit and have a warrant. Which would have been much better, to be honest, because I would have never fucking been back to get busted in the first place. So I should have just been ditching out on the fucking pretrial release and just fucking it off and not ever dealing with anything. In hindsight, that's what I should have done, right? But I was trying to fucking stay legitimate, stay on the streets, It didn't work. It didn't work. So I just had to throw that huge extra explanation in there. And this was I got stuck in that class. I was in that class, and then I think I was in there until one day they were talking about degrading women with how you calling a woman a broad or a chick, I think was degrading or something like that. And I was like, can we just go back to talking about this or that? And the therapist was pissed off that I tried to change the conversation away from this, that I had the audacity to try to change it. So they, you're going to prison. They're not going to let you out. It didn't work. We tried that. So, and that was the end of that class. And it definitely, I was in fucking jail for 13 months, and getting into anything, even though I wasn't an actual drug addict, just being in that fucking class and having shit to do, literally, I was getting fucking acupuncture in that class. I've never had acupuncture before or since. In jail, I got acupuncture, and it was pretty amazing. I remember my arm being messed up and them just booping it, just being totally relaxed. It was like, wow. And it was mainly in the ears and for addiction stuff and all that. It was just all something to do. honestly, it didn't work. I didn't get out like I was trying to. Did it hurt me overall? Do I have the, like, oh, you're a junkie? I don't know. Like, well, you went to drug treatment for, I honestly don't know. It hasn't really affected my life. I mean, prison was bad enough, but that, going to that drug treatment, the feds offered time off for doing their drug treatment, but they didn't give that to people that had a gun enhancement, right? So I was a legal gun owner, but when you have drugs and a gun, it's not legal. So they give you a couple extra points, so you do more time, and you can't get the time off. You get a whole year, up to a year off for doing the drug treatment program in federal prison. If you don't have any violence, if you don't have, well, just having a gun, that was good enough for them. So, you know, I had guns my whole life. And I've already told a couple stories about guns. So I wasn't going to be able to get any time off. I wasn't get, so I just, you know, I dropped that whole, oh, I'm a junkie, and I remember sitting in feds, being like classified or whatever, and the lady read, oh, you've done cocaine, you've done this, how are you not a blah blah blah? And I go, have you ever had a glass of wine? Yeah. Well, are you an alcoholic? You know, and that just shut her up. Like, I don't even think she had ever fucking thought that before. Like, that you could literally do drugs and not be a fucking drug addict. Like, on occasions, I want to go to a different place. Mainly my thing was just being able to drink more. Because, like, I was super social as a drunk person and not so social as a sober person. Like, I like to say I'm a happy drunk and an angry sober. So, you know, get drinking, and just about the time that freaking is like, oh, God, you get too drunk and you do some drugs, some coke or whatever, or ecstasy to fuck fun, or, you know, I mean, it's just like, you don't have to be a junkie to do drugs every once in a while. And I actually look down on junkies. If you can't fucking control your shit and you just do the shit, like, I mean, to where you gotta have it, that's bad. So anyway, I was in this class to try to get out early, and it didn't work, and then I learned some stuff. I was there for a while. I don't know if it registered me in the system as something or not. I couldn't tell you honestly, but I am gonna do, once we're all caught up and we're live and things are going good, we're gonna pull my Freedom of Information Act from all the different federal agencies. And then we'll see what that stuff says, because I got a feeling it's going to be pretty interesting. All right, like, subscribe. Thanks. Have a great day.